everybody. Welcome to the Hallmarkies podcast. We are so excited today. We have one of our favorite Hall stars is here. We are talking with Jesse Hutch again today. And I'm film critic Rachel Wagner. Carrie's here.
Hey, everybody.
And Jesse, welcome back.
I'm here.
Podcast.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for, inviting me into your digital office. It looks great.
Yes. Yeah. So we have not had you on the podcast since 2018. How wild is that?
Why?
January.
Why not?
I don't know.
Let's talk about this. Are we fighting?
Yeah, you were one of the very first celebrities that we interviewed. We maybe the third or fourth. So
top five, maybe.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, crazy. I mean,
how's it going? What's happened since then?
It's been pretty busy, I have to say.
The podcast has grown, which has been really fun. The podcast has grown. We're still doing fun stuff, but you've been busy. You've been very busy, I think.
Yeah. Well, and we had the emergency podcast on snowmance. And that's why we ended up going.
Oh, I couldn't make that one, right?
No, well, you weren't on. You heard it. You listened to us gush about snowmance. And then
it was awesome.
Yeah, because we loved it so much. And then we had you on January that year. And it was actually, you were so nice because we had so many technical difficulties, and knock on wood that we don't this time. And I've always been grateful that you were so, because that was probably the first podcast I've ever done where it was like, there were technical difficulties and it was like, but you were so nice. And I've always been grateful for that.
It happens.
Some behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
It's funny because 4 years ago then in 2018, people were podcasting obviously and doing this, but I think a lot of us have gotten more tech savvy as this 2020 happened and 2021 where we've maybe had to do this more on a regular basis. So hopefully we have the hang of it.
Yeah. Well, there have been a lot of new players in the race since 2018. That's for sure. Over here at Hallmark podcasting. But one thing I wanted to ask you is, so you've been doing a lot of stunt work since we last talked. And what is that all like? What's that about?
You know what? I have always been training in stunts ever since I started in this industry. So my first roommate, he's now a stunt coordinator. He was a stunt performer at the time, and he's done a bunch of awesome projects and he's still going. And so I was training 3 times a week in the beginning of my career. So I was going out and do these auditions, and then I'd go hit the gymnastics gym and train in martial arts, or I'd be, jumping off trampolines or doing falls into foam pits. And so it's just always been in my DNA. I just love it. And so I still do it. Yes. So kind of 2 parts to it. There's a part of it where I don't even publicly talk about it. I don't share it. I just go do it.
Sure, yeah.
And then I don't say anything. And so all of a sudden I'll get a message and someone's like, "Did I just see you on this Netflix show, get thrown through a table?" And I was like, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. And then there's the other aspect where I just believe it's part of who I am, and I can't just get rid of that. So as an actor, I want to bring the action into it, kind of maybe a Tom Cruise kind of thing, right? Where I get to tell as much of the story as possible. So I just want to be an asset for people who want to hire me. So I just keep training, and I keep, God willing, getting better at everything I do, so that when someone hires me, they go, "Hey, we got to do a quick fight scene. Are you all right with that?" And it's like, "Oh yeah, I've actually been doing stunts for 20 years." And they're like, "Oh, wow, okay." And I can get out there and I can throw punches and take them, and I can do action, and I'm good with harnesses and wire work, and I understand the mentality and the pacing and the timing behind cinema fighting versus real fighting. And so I'm here to help, right? I'm here to, hey, you want to hire me to make a movie or a TV series? Let's do it. And I will bring everything I can to the table. And if I don't know how to do it, I'll go figure it out.
Do you have a preference as far as stunt work versus acting, or
I like moving around. I mean, obviously if you just Google my name and look me up. Acting is the weight of my career. That's, I think, where I can have more of a serious conversation with someone. Like if I'm sitting down with producers or director, they're probably more apt to be drawn to the acting side of things, which I'm okay with because I love telling story. Like I want to emote, I want to pull on people's heartstrings. I like being in that position to be able to kind of dance, if you will, with other actors, you know, to give and take and push and pull. And but then the stunts, it's just so fun. Like and it's different. Like there's a different mentality, there's a different environment. Like when you step onto a film set and you're going to do stunts, there's this camaraderie and teamwork that just automatically occurs. And there's an honesty. Not saying actors are dishonest, but there's just something about, like, in the stunt world, if someone, like a coordinator, calls you up and goes, "Hey, can you do a backflip on a horse?" I'd be like,
you can't fudge that one. No.
When do you need this backflip done by? Tomorrow. No.
Right.
You know, if
You're
it's
like,
something like,
now.
"Hey, I have a month. I can't now, but I can learn it if you're okay with that." Right. Or there's the go-to guy in town who's like, "We'll just call, like, you know, Johnny. He's the horse backflip guy."
Yeah. So have you ever had to do anything that was like scary that, you know, that you were scared?
You just said.
Not really. I mean, I enjoy it, so it doesn't scare me. It's kind of,
there was something that was like risky.
If it's more scary, I'm actually more interested.
Oh, well, like scary for me and Rachel, you know, like scary for
like you were like there was risk that you might get hurt, or, you know, that kind of a thing, that you're doing the stunt.
No, I mean, I've been pretty fortunate. I haven't had anything like that. One of the coolest things and unique, I would say, maybe unique, was so I doubled one of the leads on Lost in Space for Netflix. And so I went in and we did a bunch of testing for the spacesuits because they had to go in water for the first time. And that was really interesting because no one had ever done this. Netflix built like a river in the middle of a field. Like it was all man-made, man-operated. And it was kind of like, all right, throw this stuff on. We don't have the communication set up yet. Usually there's communication, like an earpiece and a microphone, so we can communicate. It wasn't ready for water use yet. So they're just like, all right, we're going to throw this equipment on you and you need to go in the water and we got to test this thing out. Like, how long does the oxygen last? Can you breathe? Does it float? If so, how much? How much energy can you exert before you feel like you're going to pass out? Like, just all these things. And I loved it. It was so much fun.
So
that sounds a little scary to me.
It's totally scary.
I mean, if you're claustrophobic, there's a moment when it's like, because it takes 3 people to get the actual like helmet off and on. So I mean, if you're panicking or something, like, and it's not like you can help, like you can't get it off yourself. If you get an itchy nose, like you're like, you know, you're hitting the glass. And so, there's like a moment where you're like, oh man, I can't really breathe. You need to up the oxygen, you know, but they can't hear me. We can't communicate. So people are trying to understand how we're coming up with hand signals. And I see there's a thumbs up on my screen.
I don't know why.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, hey. Thumbs up time. I like it.
So
you guys were like,
my other question though, when you watch a action movie, do you kind of break down the stunts? You're like, oh, I bet they're doing that there, they're doing that there. Do you just kind of let yourself get in? I
kind of both. So I think there's a part of my brain that kind of stores it away and is like, I'm going to go back to that later. And then there's a part of my brain that goes, I just want to enjoy this story. I want you to take me on a journey. I don't want to try and figure it out, like behind the scenes. And so I just kind of live in both worlds, if that's possible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless it's like really bad. Like if you're watching a movie and you're just like, oh my goodness, like I can't ignore this. Right. You know what I mean? This is just blatantly obvious. Like your continuity's wrong. Like the dude was wearing a red sweater and then we cut back and he's wearing a blue one. Like what's wrong? Something's very wrong here. So stuff like that, I absolutely will tear apart immediately.
Yeah.
But most of the time, like I love movies. That's my favorite thing to do. I enjoy going to the movie theater. I like sitting at home watching a movie. That's how I relax. It's how I like, if I don't get to do that at least once a week, I actually almost feel like my stress level maybe goes up. My, you know what I mean? Like it's something I need to do. It's almost like a hobby.
Yeah. Well, there's been some amazing stunt work in 2021. There's, Shang-Chi, which had an incredible fight scene. And
there's some fun stuff in there.
Yeah, that one was so good. And Spider-Man movie had some good stuff. And Dune had some really good stuff.
Tell me one or a couple stunts that like scenes that you're most proud of, ones that like maybe they took a lot of work or I don't know,
stuff I've participated in.
That you've done. You.
I don't think I've reached something that I'm like, oh yeah, that was like, it was like I fell, I got thrown off a building and it was like a 50-story cable fall, or like I got to get ratcheted through a wall in an explosion. Like your
family's probably grateful for that.
Yeah, my wife is always like, no, maybe you shouldn't book that one. And I'm like, I hope you book this one. She's like, I hope you don't. And we're praying against each other.
Right.
Yeah.
Most of the stunts that I've done, I'd say so far, I'm kind of the guy who is there to, a lot of the times they do like the stunt actor thing that lines up. Like Supernatural was really fun. I got to play a cage, like a werewolf cage fighter.
Okay.
And so I had eyeballs and fangs and what else they got? Prosthetics and all these cuts all over me. And so I was in this cage fight and it was a ton of fun. And so I like if I get to do some acting and then bring the action in. And then there's stuff I've done that's totally just doubling other actors who are in fights or get punched out or they get thrown through something. A lot of the times I'm either eating dirt or I'm eating concrete.
Yeah.
and it's just or I get shot. Like I was in a Netflix movie and they called my character the French Canadian Terminator. And I think I got shot like 32 times in the chest, but it happened so fast. Like it's just, and then I'm just like down and out. Yeah. You know what I mean? I couldn't even see. Like all I was thinking was just hit my mark. Where's my mark? I can't see. There's gunpowder flying everywhere or squibs. I can't see.
Meanwhile, Lifetime has been keeping you very busy on the rom-com front. We need to get you back to Hallmark.
We need it. We need
well, now
Go ahead.
Now there's the GAC, right? So I mean, there's still there's all kinds of networks. There's all kinds of networks, but so a lot of the movies that I do, they will be done ahead of time, and then Lifetime and Hallmark will bid on them. Right. So it just comes down to, I mean, there's been many times where it was like, oh, I think it's going Hallmark, and then maybe it goes Lifetime, or I'm not like biased. I don't like only work for one. I like making movies. So if someone wants to work, let's talk.
Right. Absolutely.
And I feel like you guys were going to touch on, we need like a Hallmark action movie.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
Yes.
Well, back in the day, they used to, like way back, like 2006, because Hallmark used to have Star Trek Next Generation and Deep Space Nine on their channel. And so they had all these really crazy random action movies. Like there's I haven't seen any of them, but there was one even about a pandemic. That was an action movie called Pandemic.
Oh,
yeah.
Yep. And there were like there was one that was like an earthquake movie, and there was one that was like, so I think they need to go back 2006.
Okay.
So as because I mean you guys like watching Hallmark movies, right? Obviously.
Yes.
So what kind of like movie would you watch that had action in it? Like how much action, how much is too much? What's, you know what I mean? What
I think what you would want to do is make it like maybe a slight Western, and then you have like, I don't know, a hunky cowboy.
but like no shooting.
Maybe not shooting, but like you could have chases and races and I don't know.
Maybe like a what do you call those races when you put on the potato sack and like a potato sack race? Like
on the horse. Basically, you could have it be sort of Dr. Quinn reborn anew.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, Rachel, are you talking historic then or current?
Yes.
Current cowboys? Historic. Oh.
Well, I mean, because current, you would be compared to Heartland, and that would be difficult. Everybody would.
Which I've worked on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. You were on Heartland. We have been recapping Heartland. You played a veteran.
I did.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. And a veteran who used to be a rodeo cowboy, and then when he so sent home from war.
You'd have to do something other than modern cowboy. I don't know. What do you think, Carrie? What would you do?
I would like a horse flip at the circus, a little love at the circus, and see a horse flip on a horse.
Okay.
Learn how to do.
Okay.
No, I would see. You know what they did this year, which was kind of intriguing? They did it was, I think, a Christopher Palaha movie. It was Dickens of a Holiday, and he was an actor, like an action actor, and he had like these spoof kind of action shots. Yeah. I think it would be kind of fun to do something like that as well, like where you could play like this action actor, and you're doing these stunt works, but then you do fall in love or something. And,
what if there were two doubles? So you had two stunt doubles, one girl, one guy. And they end up falling for each other.
They're falling for each other.
Like literally.
Yeah. Like
literally fall. They're like, oh, boom, boom. Oh, you stopped. You saved me.
Yeah.
So we could be like, okay. Yeah, I think that would be
okay. So this is a good idea because I'm actually writing my own Christmas film right now, and so I'm gonna put something in it like that.
You need to put some stuff in it, or you do. Have you ever thought of doing a Hallmark Movies and Mysteries movie, because those sometimes get a little more action oriented and guns and fights and stuff like that.
You know, it would be good. You could have Jesse and then have Charlotte Sullivan playing opposite, because she's done all these cop shows, all these action stuff. And it would be perfect.
Well, when are you guys going to greenlight this project?
We're here
in.
for it.
Yeah, make us executive producer.
Done.
Okay, wait, though. You just said something super intriguing. You're writing. Are you writing a movie?
Yeah. I mean, that's one of 24 projects that my business partner and I have on a pitch deck right now. Yeah. So yes. I actually do have a shopping agreement with a production company for a series that I've been developing, and it's along the lines of the original Lethal Weapon meets Bad Boys. It's a buddy cop action comedy, but a lot of comedy.
I love it.
Well, we'll let Charlotte know that you'll be.
So it's something that I'm really excited about. I mean,
that sounds great.
I'm trying to bring back like some of the cool old cars mixed with just good fun humor, and there's action, but it's not like you can sit and watch it as like my kids watch it. You know, like I actually filmed the proof of concept, and I directed it, and I directed it, produced it with my business partner Don McLeod, and then we. I mean, I had to wear way too many hats. Like it was one of those projects where I was like, okay, the only way this is get done is if we do everything. So we're like, all right. So I was like literally buying 2x4s and building sets, and I went to IKEA and we were like dressing sets. And sometimes you just need to do what you got to do to do what you got to do.
Do it yourself. You do it gets done. So if you put a little romance in, I'm all for it. I'm ready. I'll watch it tomorrow.
Which there is. Mm-hmm. Good. So my character, because I'm playing one of the lead actors, and I would like to direct as well. Yeah. And so my character runs along the lines of, based on a true story a little bit, in the sense that I'm married, I have 3 kids, except he's the police officer who acts like he has nothing to lose. So he's super positive, always cheery, like even to the bad guys. Like it's almost like, what, he's really nice to this dude. Like what is going on? Yeah, And then my partner, he is like the straight-laced ex-military, like what's next, get it done. And so
he's like the Murtaugh kind of, the more grumpy.
Oh yeah. Oh, you know. Yeah, Riggs and Murtaugh. I love it.
That's
right. Starsky and Hutch.
Well,
I can't wait.
You were in A Very Vintage Christmas with Tia.
Yeah.
And that one was cute. We enjoyed that. Looking
fun.
for the all the little pieces of that. She has that memory box, as I recall. But yeah, I enjoyed that one. That must have been fun to work with her. Seems like a
Oh, it was, yeah. She's fantastic. I mean, she's a mom, she got kids. We totally were able to we just talked about her kids like all the time in between takes. But
do you bring kids on set, or is that, I mean, obviously in this day and age, things are probably different, but have you brought your kids on set before?
My kids did actually come to that set. Yeah. My family generally almost always comes with me if I have to go somewhere. So I do have some upcoming movies, which I don't know if they'll end up on Lifetime or Hallmark yet, but I think they're going to be like really good. I don't want to be, I'm a little biased, I suppose, but one of them right now is called, I think, Farmer Seeking Love or something like that. Like if you go on IMDb, it's about that. And it was the producers were so fantastic and so collaborative. Yeah. And they would take input and we would just like gut a scene. And if we had to rewrite it and fix things, we would do it. And they really allowed us to take like moments, like it wasn't just about get the dialogue out. It was like, hold up, we have like, there's some looks here, you get to, is it you doing? Huh? What, me? You? Huh? And we were able to play with that. And I think it's going to come out really well because it just felt a little bit unique in that sense because the team was so collaborative and so willing to listen to one another, to talk. And so I think people will really enjoy it. And for
that's one thing
that's
one thing I appreciate about you is that I feel like you always try to bring the humor out in a scene. I mean, especially Snowman's. It was so funny. And I think that makes it just, I don't know, more enjoyable. Not every actor has that ability to kind of bring the humor out.
I love humor. Like if I could do a really good comedy, I'm in. Now, what I like to do, as you mentioned, I'm glad you noticed that. I hope it's working. What I don't like is, I mean, unless it's absolutely has to be the character, but I like to bring a little bit of comedy or maybe, especially the leading guys. Like I think not everything they say has to be, right. Not everything they do has to come across like, oh, I know everything and I'm just so suave and everything's perfect. Like I prefer when they're like, okay, we want you to be perfect. I'm like, sweet, but I'm going to drop in something that's totally goofball here.
Yeah.
And I think it's fun. I don't know. It's just something in me that I think needs to be real because everybody has moments of, it's just not perfect. You didn't say the right thing. You didn't get the girl just because you were so good at your approach or how you deliver the dialogue. It's like you messed up, and I think people like to see that because it's real and we've all experienced it on some level.
Yeah, absolutely. I think everyone likes a little everyone likes something that's a little adorkable, that word, like it's like a little dorky and it's so tender, but it's just adorable. And that's real. That is.
Oh, and so in the Farmer Seeking Love, there's I mean, in a nutshell, I mean, I won't give it all away, but basically I'm a farmer. Surprise. And
are you seeking love?
Well, not really. It's like my family, unbeknownst to me, puts me up to be on this reality show. Oh. And so the reality show starts to reach out to me and wants me on the show. And so that's where there's the, where we butt heads.
This movie has Donna Benedicto in it, who's one of our favorite people.
She's great.
So hilarious. I love her so much.
I'm so excited for this. Okay, this reminds me of that website, the dating website for farmers only. Have you guys heard of this website?
Yeah.
No.
It's real. It's real, and you can go and you can apply, but it's for farmers only, like Farmer Seeking Love. So, I mean, this is going to be a hit. This is going to be.
The first time we had Donna on the podcast, I was really like just trying to control myself. I was laughing so hard. She's so great. I love her so much.
Yeah. We had a blast making that movie.
I
And
bet.
and like I said, we were allowed to be collaborative.
Yeah.
Which so you will get from that movie, you will get, you know, the serious and the humor and the heart and a little bit of the goofball, or the, what do you call it, dorkable? I think that will be in there for sure, 100%.
We'd like to take a second from this episode of the podcast to celebrate our sponsor of this episode, and that is the Hallmarkies Patreon.
Do you love Hallmarkies podcast?
Do you want an inside scoop into what happens on the podcast?
Do you want early access to episodes and loads of cool perks?
Now is the time to become a patron of Hallmarkies podcast.
By becoming a patron, you get to access our patron Facebook group.
You can request episodes or even be a guest on the podcast.
And most importantly, any patron can join our monthly movie watch-alongs with stars like Paul Campbell, Natalie Hall, and more.
It's as low as $2 a month to join in and become a special part of the Hallmarkies family.
Please consider, and we will love you forever.
Go to patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
That's patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
So and then there's another movie I did. I did a Christmas movie, which didn't come out this year. They're going to take their time, and it's going to come out next year.
Okay.
And I did that with Vanessa Lenges. If you have seen
Turner and Hooch.
Turner and Hooch, yes. So she's in that. Now, funny enough, her and I worked together, and I have not seen her since roughly 2002, 2003, because we worked on a series called American Dreams for NBC. Yeah. So that was the last time I saw her. And then we both booked this movie, and it was pretty funny. And she also has good comedic timing and is able to kind of roll with that. So we were, again, able to really come up with a theme as characters. Like, I think it'll be fun for viewers, because we tried to come up with this, let's call it cat and mouse sort of approach. And we tried to apply that to almost every scene. It was like, okay, who's chasing and who's running? You know what I mean? And we tried to, whether it was like emotionally or if it was physically, or we try to make that work in the movie.
Ooh, that's so fun.
So with In Love by Christmas, was that one that was filmed after quarantine, or did you get it done before?
What do you mean by quarantine?
Did you have to have all the COVID restrictions and everything like that when you were making that one? Or was it done in 2019?
I mean, there's all kind. No, that was done. We did that. When did I finish? In the summer. We did that in the summer.
Okay, so it was pretty soon after they started making movies again.
Yeah. So there's all, different. Every set has different restrictions. It depends on the where you're filming. It depends on the union. Basically, don't try to figure it out, because it's a gong show. Yeah. And just show up and see what happens, and what do they tell you, and what are you trying to do or not trying to do, and you just make it work.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, that seems like it would be challenging, but I guess you get used to it.
Yeah, well, it was different. I mean, I did a film in Montreal, and I don't know if you guys know the mandates or anything in Quebec or anything like that. But for example, like right now we didn't have this when we were filming, but right now they have a curfew. Can't be out past 10 p.m. So I mean, imagine, right? You try to do a movie, and it's like, we wrap at 9:30. Like, you're gonna get fined for driving home. I mean, it's just crazy. So when we were doing the movie, there's something there that the government put in place, and it's called the KISS card. You ever heard of that?
Yes. Yeah.
I haven't. What is that?
Why don't you tell us?
This was In Love by Christmas, that you had to have the plexiglass in between you.
No, this was a Farmer Seeking Love. This was.
Oh, really? They're still doing it.
So it's actually a prosthetic that covers my nose and my mouth and everything, kind of like this. I'm like Darth Vader.
Yeah.
I thought they got rid of that. I thought it was like at the very beginning, and then they got rid of it. No, they're still doing it.
Still happening. It might be gone now. I don't know, but it was happening then. And so Donna, you can imagine, we're both like, oh my goodness, like we got to keep it together here, because like I look like a RoboCop, Terminator, and we got to do this serious, like, this is the kiss, you know, and it's like, what? It's like, you look like I can't even look at you and keep a straight face. So anyway, it was, we literally had to have a conversation. It was like, okay, just look in my eyes and we'll get this done and we're out. Okay. But it turned out really well. Like you know, you got to put the camera on certain angles and tweak
how
it.
do you not see? How do you not see that whole thing right there?
You got to shoot over the shoulder, a bit of an angle, a bit of an angle this way. You know, you got the wide to come in. It's like we almost do, but it's you won't even be able to tell. But it was a different experience because like I have a tube that comes out and it goes into my shirt, and then I basically breathe. And it's funny enough, I mean, this is hilarious. The tube basically, just because of the way it's built, it just comes out of like my crotch in the back. So I'm just like walking around with this like tail, this tube, and I'm like,
oh great.
And I'm like, nobody talk. Just don't look at me. Don't talk to me.
You can't look at anybody in that.
I'll be over here when you need me. I'll just come and we'll do the scene. Let's go home.
So weird.
But hey, that's, you know, sometimes the things we do in this business, you know.
Yeah.
I was just letting you guys in on the magic.
I love it. Thank you. So the reason why we invited you on is because you have a new movie that is being shown on UpTV, and it's Love on the Road. And we both got the chance to watch it on a screener. And we thought it was very, very sweet. And you know, we love Erin so much.
She's great.
Why don't you tell our audience a little bit about the movie?
Oh, well, I mean, you've seen it.
Yeah,
I feel like you should tell us about it. I haven't even seen it.
It's basically a like HGTV Food Network kind of restaurant makeover person comes, and she's going to make over your diner, but you're not happy about it. You don't want it to change. You don't like that. And of course, you've got that tension between the two. It's cute. Yeah,
I think it was I mean, it was another great experience. It was a crew I'd actually worked with before, so it just felt like home. It was like, boom, here's the crew. Hey, what's up? You know, and then we just make a movie. It was the first time I'd met Erin, and I mean, she's super easygoing, and so that was just, you know, no problem there at all. And then we just started making this movie, and it was. I mean, it's always fun. It's always fun to try to find where's the humor go and where's the heart, and what can we do better, right? So sometimes the way it's written on the page too, you gotta tweak it and make it work. Robert Lieberman directed that, and I have heard of him like my whole career, but never worked with him. He used to be an editor, so I'm a bit of a tech geek too. So I loved it because he'd be like, "Cut!" Like you're in the middle of a sentence. He's like, "Cut!" I'm like, "Oh, was it that bad, Robert?" And he's like, "No, we don't need the rest of that. We're gonna do it on the wide." And I'm like, "Oh, sick! All right, sweet." Like he just knew what he wanted, and we just got it done. So there was no wasting time, right? Just sitting around like, okay, let's shoot 6 minutes of the scene, but we're never going to use it. You know, he just knew what he needed and he knew what he wanted.
That's great.
Oh man, I'll tell you what was hard for me. I had one scene, you probably saw it. I got to like act like I'm on TV.
Yes.
And it's kind of, I'm kind of nervous about it a little bit, but then I have to like get into the cooking, and I love cooking, but then I have to know what's what and what goes where. So that was nuts, because it was like, okay, I got the spice, and the spice needs to go there, and then I got to talk about the syrup, and then it goes in that bowl, but that bowl goes in that bowl, and then the mixer. And so every reset was like reset, and there's like 82 things that I touched.
Yeah. I loved that. I thought it was so fun to see you play a character who wasn't supposed to be comfortable in front of the camera, yet this is your like whole profession and your whole life anyway. But you did that so well, you know, like you kind of warmed up to the role, and by the end we could believe the future that you go on. I don't know, when we're posting this, I don't want to say anything.
Nice.
But, you know, like we could see that you were ready for what comes.
Yeah.
I like
that's good.
I thought it was funny, the scenes with the sheep.
Yeah.
The sheep.
That was fun.
Yeah.
And like they They don't do what you want them to do ever.
No.
It doesn't matter what you do. So we just rolled with it. It was just like, just keep filming, keep going.
I loved you and Aaron had some really, really great chemistry on a friendship level, but also on a romantic level. But you had some great of those awkward moments that you were just talking about. I thought, like, this man cannot get a kiss in this movie. Like, bless his heart, he cannot finish.
I'm trying to remember, like, the family shows that my daughter shows up right away.
Yes.
That was one of the moments.
That was one, and then someone like honked a horn. Your aunt honked a horn or something. Like another moment.
Oh yeah. At the door.
Yeah.
Can't finish it, but it was so cute, and I don't know. I loved that. He was such an honorable stand-up guy. This Tom was so great. So there's a couple awesome moments.
That is one thing that I try to, if able. I mean, again, unless the script does not support it 100%, but usually I think it needs to be in there. There has to be a groundedness in whoever this character is. So, I mean, I've had the opportunity to play, farmers, for example, and I grew up on a farm. So I don't know if that, I'm sure it plays into that a little bit, but I just think there has to be something that grounds that person. So even if they're a person who's not supposed to be grounded, for me, I have to find something to ground them in.
Really hard with the French Canadian Terminator, but the other roles.
He is so grounded. The French Canadian is just like, it's like,
connection.
I wonder if I could show it to you. A funny story about that is, for me, what's important for me as an actor is I have to have good footwear. So whenever I'm doing my fittings, that's one of the things that I'm kind of the most picky about, is like, what am I wearing on my feet? Because I mean, I'm sure you guys know this. It's like, whatever you put on your feet, it does something to you.
Yeah.
It changes how you stand. It changes how you feel. It changes your posture. I mean, as a human being, I don't have a lot of shoes. I have like 3 pairs maybe. As an actor, going to play a character, I'm always like, okay, who is this guy? What does he do for a living? Where does he go? Where does he go most of the time? And I need something. And if I don't feel like, hey, I can feel the ground and I'm standing on it, it bugs me so much. Like, if there's like this weird heel, or I don't know, right? It's just something that throws me off. I'm like, nope, no, I can't wear that. It's out. It doesn't fit right, or it squeezes my feet. Like, I need to find what works.
Yeah.
Hopefully that makes sense. It doesn't sound too out there, but
the diva coming out in you really is what it is.
Not really. No, come on.
Diva moment.
No, there's not. But sure, you call it a diva if you want, I suppose. But there's definitely things that I've learned over the years that help me. Like, if my shirt doesn't fit right, like, because sometimes people will be like, no, the shoulders fit great, right? But I know it doesn't. I'll start doing like this without thinking. I do this, and I'm like,
it's a long day shooting. Like, you have to be comfortable.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Well, I really liked the girl playing your daughter. I think Mila. I think that's her name.
Yeah.
I thought in the movie she was very cute, very sweet. Yeah.
Oh man, we had one scene together in the kitchen, and that was it was. I thought it was one of my favorite scenes in the movie, actually, where I was like, okay, have to like be a dad, but you want to give advice, and you want to be caring, but not, you know what I mean? It was just
I thought it was great because you always watch how these movies handle grief, because that is an element in a lot of these movies, whether it's Hallmark or whatever, but this one for Up. And I thought it was so good the way you were playing her dad, and the age appropriate. She's a teenager, right? She's not little. And so it's not a new thing to talk about this, but it is new, because now you're maybe going to move on and you're going to date someone else. So you were just, the way that they wrote this scene was very real. And I thought it was really touching.
Yeah, that was one of the scenes that we had, the director, Robert, and I, we had some discussions about, because it was like, okay, we got to get this right.
Yeah.
We want it to come across right. We want it to feel right. We want it to be genuine and earnest, Yeah. So I'm glad that came across for you anyway. I'm like, woohoo! I'll take it. It's a win. It's a
It
win.
did, yeah. Take it as a win. So, were you going to say something else about the grounding? Like, were you going to tell us that about these shoes, or just the way that you grounded your character, Tom?
I mean, yeah, it's of course in the script, Tom, it's supposed to be a small town,
Yeah.
right? I mean, a lot of these films are, but there's always got to be a small town feel, which generally people in small towns can be very direct. They can be very grounded. They can, even if they're, crazy, or if they're wild, or maybe they're super quirky, it's like they're real, right? It's like, so yeah, even for Tom, I was like, all right, he owns a restaurant. It's a family thing. He cares about his family.
Yeah.
Not easy to change.
Yeah.
And then, as you said, grief. I mean, these movies there's always grief, but it's like, where's the wife?
We always joke about the hot widowers.
She's not around. She's not around.
You gotta have a hot widower.
Yeah. Where's the parents? Well, they
died.
Yeah.
They died.
Anyway.
Usually around Christmas. Died on Christmas.
They died
like,
on Christmas.
Morbid.
I wonder, like, do you think, like in my script, for example, let's just have a moment where it's like, so, where's your parents? And just be like, they're dead.
They're dead.
They died. Yeah. Yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's always just one though. There's never.
But it's fine. It's fine.
And
You know.
his wife died. I mean, this man, he was up. You got to put that in your cop show, though, please.
So,
the cop show's got all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff. Oh yeah.
so this movie was filmed in Vancouver, I assume.
Love on the Road. Yeah. Yes.
Did they just
outside.
like take over a
Langley.
diner?
Yeah,
for the-
that diner was like full on legit real. We
Mhm.
basically just used what was there.
Yeah.
And they actually, I think they took one of the pictures we used and they put it up in the diner. So it's still
Oh, really?
there. Yeah, because
That's
we
good.
had set dressed some photos, right? Because it was like my family. So we had pictures of my family. So I managed to sneak my own mom on there. She's in one of the pictures, and my daughter's in one. So while you're watching the movie, if you're very observant, you'll actually see people from my real family.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Oh, that's great.
I
Well,
was trying to find that video of let me see. Oh, okay, I think I'm on the right track here. Let me see if it comes up pretty quick.
Okay.
It happens fast, so you gotta be careful.
Okay.
Let's see if this is it. Okay, it's loading. Yeah,
Oh,
like I
yeah,
said,
down a little bit.
like I said, I'm a tech geek. So okay, so
There we go.
Now,
Perfect.
I gotta try to hold this. Okay, I gotta try to do this without looking now.
perfect.
There it is.
Ah!
That's it. So fast, right?
So
This is just me just getting hit in the head a bunch of times. Oh, there's a knife in the throat. Why not? Oh, I got a stiletto in the eyeball. Oh, shot.
Oh my word.
Here we go.
There's the cage.
Oh.
What?
So that was Lost in Space.
Beautiful.
This is a Steven Seagal series that I did.
Look at
Yeah.
that.
Just, fighting the bad guys.
Yeah.
All of
Oh, are you like
Oh
a
my
zombie
word.
there?
Yep. Oh, I got to do some driving in this movie.
My God.
Joyride 3. And then this is Laurel. He's a stunt coordinator and he played. I got to.
There you are. Oh, it's me.
Oh.
Ah.
Oh.
If you're only listening to the audio, you're really missing out on this one.
You've got to go to YouTube and watch this interview video, because we just saw the most amazing compilation of stunts of Jesse Hutch.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That's funny.
All right. Well, we like to end our interviews with some fun, silly questions. And we didn't even have these in existence when we last talked to you. So that's
Okay.
how,
These
yeah.
are good questions.
So, all right. First question. What is the best ice cream flavor?
Cookies and cream, or like Oreo.
Those are good. Okay. What about favorite color?
Dark blue or I like black, but that's a shade.
No. Black is awesome. Yeah.
All right. What music are you into?
Country's my go-to. When I'm working out, it's a whole slew of things.
What
Cool.
currently?
Do you have a country that the country artist who's your favorite?
Oh, country. Chris Stapleton is rocking it right now.
Yeah.
Eric Church is always one of my favorites. I like some of Dierks Bentley's older things. I mean, we go back to Johnny Cash. That's classic. I love listening to that.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
What about your go-to date night food? Go-to date night food.
Well, probably like it's either going to be Italian or like a salmon and Caesar salad kind of thing. Both my wife and I enjoy that. So
Sounds good. What is your go-to date night activity out on the town doing something?
Oh, usually we go grocery shopping.
Yeah.
Stop it.
I mean, that was pretty exciting in COVID. Let's be real.
Knows that. We've had so many date nights where we're like, man, what time is it? Oh man, it's only been like an hour and a half. We're already done dinner. We're like tired, ready to go home to sleep. We're like, what else should we do? It's like, well, we got to get groceries. So it's like, all right, we might as well get them now because and it's actually fun because you don't have the kids, so you're just like, woo! We're like skipping down the aisles.
I think that sounds relationship goals. I do.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Okay.
Have a dog?
If I had to.
If you had to.
All right. Beaches or mountains?
Mountains.
Okay.
Suit and tie or sweatpants?
Ooh, I like both. Like just in general?
Yeah.
Yeah. You like going out more or staying in?
I like staying in sweatpants.
Very good. What's your favorite holiday to celebrate?
Oh man. I'm gonna go with oh man. It's a whole bunch of good ones. I mean, Christmas, birthdays are fun.
Yeah.
Is a birthday that's not a holiday?
I think it counts. I think it counts.
I never actually thought about that before. I was like, is a birthday a holiday? I've never asked myself that question.
It's a holiday
folks.
for one.
My wife likes like the ongoing, like it's my birthday week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And you have a birthday coming up, is what we hear, right?
I do.
Yeah, in February.
February.
Yeah.
Anybody else? When's your guys' birthdays?
Mine's coming up on 23rd of January.
Oh.
Yeah. So the week of this will be posted.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna do?
Well, I was planning on doing a bunch of stuff with my friends coming to Sundance, but then Sundance is canceled. And so I don't know what I'm going to do now.
Just have your own Sundance. Go outside in the sun and just dance.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody would enjoy that given my dancing skills, but I could try.
You just dance like nobody's looking. It doesn't matter.
But last year, my family and we did a like virtual murder mystery party thing with the Great British Bake Off theme. It was the Great British Bump Off, which was pretty hilarious, I thought. And we had that was actually really fun. So maybe I'll do something like that again. I don't know.
Where are you?
I'm in Utah.
Actually located.
Yeah.
Okay. Utah and where?
Sorry,
Where's...
I'm in Chicago. I'm about 6 months older than both of you. I have 6 months on you guys. I'm in August, the year before you were born.
6 months. Woo! You're so wise.
Yeah. I mean, I can't do a backflip on a horse, but I am working on it.
I'll give you a month.
Yeah. Hey, one last question for you. What do you have a favorite Hallmark or romantic movie? And it does twofold. One that you're in. What was your favorite that you're in? And one it's just your favorite.
There's like a million of those movies.
Yeah, Snowman's has got to be the favorite. Come on.
a million.
Snowman's.
Snowman's was fun. Oh man, I had a lot of fun making that. I did.
Yeah, it was so good.
I would say one of the fan favorites is probably Let It Snow.
Yeah.
Yes, Let It Snow.
That one gets a lot of attention, and then I would say very closely to that one is Harvest Moon. That one gets a lot of feedback.
It's really good. Really good.
That
one had Jesse and Jesse.
Yeah, that was always confusing on set. All right, Jesse to set. Her, me. Okay, you. I don't know.
That's awesome.
Well, very good. You answered all the questions.
I did almost
all the questions. That's okay.
I almost did it well. I'm answering the questions.
Thank you so much for coming back on. We had a blast. We really appreciate it.
Well, it was good hanging out.
We totally appreciate you coming on. I love hearing the ins and outs of like stunt work and stuff like that you're doing. Every project that just pops up on my TV, I just watch and of yours. I just think you're charming and so fun, and just keep going. Keep making these movies for us.
Oh, thank you so much. I mean, this is a new chapter for my family and for my career. We made a pretty big move. Like we just got into a place. I mean, long story short, we basically just got into the truck and started driving across the states to decide where we wanted to live. And so we had all three of my kids in the back, and we put what we thought we could survive off in the truck. Everything else we just packed up and put it in the garage, and we just started going. So we almost 4 months of this.
Wow.
And we just sort of settled, like I just took my clothes out of the suitcase for the first time since October.
Oh.
And so we've just been driving. We put on a lot of miles on the truck, and so we're here. And I'm looking to sort of see what Atlanta is like.
Okay.
And so I'm excited. We're just coming out of the holidays. People are just waking up, like, all right, the holidays are over. We should do stuff. And I'm ready to go. So we'll see what happens, because I've just been training hard, and I love jumping around. So I want to see what I can get into.
Well, keep us posted on that stunt double romance movie. Yeah. Keep us updated.
Yeah.
But do you have social media or anything like that you want to share?
Instagram's the only thing that I really am personally attached to.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I'll do my best to connect with people on there and respond. And
Great. We'll have that all in the description. You all should check it out. And thanks again. And everybody should take a look at the Love on the Road. It's a lot of fun. So
check it out. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. And we'll have to do it. Now, we're not going to wait 4 years. Again.
No, we'll have you back again quicker, sooner.
I'll see if I can be cool enough so you guys have me on earlier. I'll try to. Who knows? I might book some Marvel movie or something crazy.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Sounds good.
I don't know.
All right. Well, take care of yourself. Thanks so much.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, Jesse.
We'd like to thank Jesse for coming on the podcast. It was so much fun to get to talk with him again. And Carrie, where can people find you?
Yeah, come on over to Instagram at Hallmark Comics. That's Hallmark_comics. And I'd love to interact with you there. We have a lot of fun over there on that page.
Yes. And make sure that you follow me on Rachel's Reviews, all of our social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. Check that out. And also make sure you're following the podcast at Hallmarkies Pod and Hallmarkies Podcast all over social media. And if you're listening on iTunes, please leave your 5-star review. We sure appreciate it. And if you are watching on YouTube, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. You can check out our playlist with all of our interviews, including I'll put a link down to our original interview with Jesse in the description section. So we also have our Patreon group and merch store, which is a lot of fun. Please take a look at that. And thanks so much again to Jesse. And we'll talk to y'all later. Bye, everyone.
Bye.